All right, welcome on in. Happy Friday. Fox 10 Talks continuing now at 11 o'clock. Crystal hanging out with us on this Friday afternoon.
Very happy Friday.
Yeah,
We've made it.
Thanks for stepping in at the last second.
Happily. Annalise will be here in a minute.
Yeah.
But she's helping us out on the other side of the
Taping
building.
some other stuff. There's a lot going on a Friday behind the scenes, so we're like, who can help?
Parts.
And
Crystal, I was sitting there.
She was the only one. We're like, Crystal, you're up. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Crystal.
I always love to join Fox 10 Talks, though.
Yeah.
Hang out with our friends. Yeah.
Well, we're not talking weather today.
I know. We're not talking, well, because the weather's nice.
The weather, yeah, there's nothing to talk about. It's gorgeous out there. But we are talking about health, which I know you are all kind of up to date on all these like health trends and things like that.
Well, I'm in the toddler realm, I would say.
No, in the real world, too. So we're going to bring in our first guest, Karen Howard. She is the executive director of the Organic and Natural Health Association. Good morning, Ms. Howard.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
Well, thanks for taking the time to speak to us on Fox 10 Talks. Let's jump kind of right into it because you kind of have some health tips, and we're kind of talking about how health care seems to be so expensive these days that some folks are maybe not doing what they should be doing or cutting corners. So I guess bottom line, just walk us through kind of what you're seeing as far as what's happening with America and healthcare.
Yeah, it's getting a lot of press right now. Finally, I think it's a little late because what's happened is premiums have gone up and tax credits have gone down, which means that you're going to pay more out of pocket. You're going to pay more in a copay where you went into a doctor for $20. It might cost you $40, $60, $80, and everything else is going up incrementally as well. So the impetus to go to the doctor for any little thing is very low. But also, I think we're all concerned about the fact that people are skipping visits and maybe missing out on things that are really good for their health, or they're incurring, complications to things that are simple and can be fixed relatively easy.
You kind of mentioned it, and, I talked about this the other day. I'm getting over a little bit of a cold. I went to Walgreens. I bought 2 cold medicines and a Gatorade, and it was $50. And it just kind of blew my mind how expensive even medications are getting, even the over-the-counter medications. It probably would have been cheaper. Thank goodness we have insurance here at Fox that's really good. But it probably would have been cheaper for me to get a prescription and actually go to the doctor than just over-the-counter. It seems that everything in the healthcare realm is more expensive.
I went to buy keys the other day. They're $5 a piece when you make a key copy. So it's cumulative, and we have to figure out ways to basically keep ourselves healthier and avoid that. And you've got seasonal allergies is a really good example. Sinus issues this time of year. So what kind of precautions can you take, and what can you do to be proactive in your healthcare? Is something that I think gets a little overlooked unless you're in tune with that and you've been practicing it for a while.
So maybe you can give us some issues, or I guess talk us through some of those things that we can be a little bit more proactive.
Well, I mean, thankfully we're in the summer season as we're moving in, and we don't have as many issues that we want to, but here's the thing. If you are if you're eating a really good diet, that's half the battle, but we're still really deficient in 3 key components: magnesium, omega-3, and vitamin D3. Now, the easiest and simplest thing to do about vitamin D is sit out in the sun in the middle of the day with 50% of your body exposed. And we have been trained not to do that. So many people are reticent to do that. It's the easiest way to build your immune system by having a good vitamin D level. And it's probably one of the least expensive nutrients that you can buy, and easier to swallow because they're small.
So obviously, as we're discussing this, there are going to be some barriers to people being able to afford certain healthcare trips or visits. Because the fact of the matter is, people are, like you said, going to skip sometimes when they feel like maybe it's not as big of a deal. Are there certain things that are, I don't know, but you would consider a big enough deal? Like, what are the red flags that you should not be skipping out? These are things you have to address.
Anytime you wake up and the kids and you see it in their eyes and you go, this is a cold, and we're keeping you at home, versus when you are really incapacitated or you have a headache that is, giving you problems. I mean, I think we all have a pretty general feel for when we're really sick and when we're not. And I love to be able to say that I haven't been sick in many years. And so that doesn't happen overnight. It does require an investment in time and energy and attention and yes, some outlay of cash to be able to build your immune system. But that's really what this should be teaching us, is how can we build our immune system so we aren't struggling like that.
Something else that I was reading through some of the notes that you sent over, and what I like what you talked about is like how to shop for supplements with confidence, because that's the other thing. People are trying to take those supplements to make sure that they're boosting their immune system or helping, I guess, just maintain a status quo. But when you go to like a vitamin aisle at a Sprouts or a Whole Foods or something like that, it is kind of overwhelming with just how many different brands. So are there certain things that people should be looking at when it comes to some of these supplements?
Absolutely. There are rules and regulations about how supplements are labeled. And one is if it says it cures, treats, or mitigates a disease, walk away from it. That's illegal. And then when you look for, I'm going to focus on, vitamin D, magnesium, and omega-3 because they're easy, attainable. So you want to have seals on there that you can trust. If you look at just organic, which is green with organic USDA in it, that's a great one. Or if you're really concerned about glyphosate, and in particular, it could be both, look for the Butterfly, the non-GMO project. Another one. You take those at NSF, which is an organization that certifies a supplement that they meet all the legal regulations around manufacturing and claims. So those three seals will take, I swear, 85% of the products off the market for you to worry about. And that, yes, it will cost you a little bit more, but you won't be wasting your money and you will see results.
And in terms of like things we can just do day-to-day basis, I know that you hear so often like this food helps with this immunity booster and you see it at like a coffee shop or whatever. But what are like the true, what you would consider superfoods that may help with just keeping you healthy on the day-to-day?
Stay whole foods, do a lot of dark leafy greens. It's really not as complicated as people make it out to be. Stay away from fast food. Stay away from inflammatory foods like fast food and really keep your diet as clean as possible.
Shop the outside of the grocery store, they say, right? Like the outer edge where like the produce is,
the dairy is. Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes I wish my grocery store would just move that Doritos to that outer edge so then I could be like, I'm just shopping the outer edge. But they never do. No.
That's right in the center.
They never do.
There's
all right.
design in that. Yes.
There is. Real quick, I wanted to ask you some of these organic supplements, they're obviously more expensive. Is that worth your investment in kind of buying those more organic niche supplements? And
whether it's niche or not, I mean, I'm really going to, if you will go to nutrientpower.org, you can look at the value of vitamin D, magnesium, and omega-3. Start there. Don't look for niche to begin with. And yes, it makes a difference. So the price point will be a little higher, but you will be ensured that everything that's in the bottle is labeled on the outside of the bottle. And that's super important in today's age. You want to spend the money well.
Yeah, those are some good tips.
And measure your levels. You can do nutrientpower.org. You can find out what your vitamin D, omega-3, and magnesium levels are. And that's a really good place to start so you actually know if you're making a difference in your body.
Yeah, for sure. Ms. Howard, is there a way that folks can get more information about what you do and your organization?
Yes, we're at organicandnaturalhealth.org. We represent the supplement industry from its entirety, raw ingredient to brand. And our partners at Grassroots Health partnered with us on nutrientpower.org, which is a consumer-facing site that makes things really easy to understand and gives you access to testing.
All right. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it. Very enlightening here.
Thank you very much.
I feel healthier just talking to her, don't you?
Leafy greens for dinner.
Leafy greens for dinner for sure. Eat a whole thing of, what is that? Popeye?
I have arugula and spinach in my fridge right now that I was going to ignore, but maybe I won't.
Arugula? I can't get on board.
Oh, I love that's my favorite.
Like an arugula on like a sandwich is okay, but just by itself?
No, in a salad. That's my fave.
All right, well, I'll take your word for it.